Well, welcome to another. We're kind of in an iridology around the world, but this is also an iridology fusion moment. And I wanted to spend some time with you and talk with you about how you work your business, how you find business, how you feel about a home based business. And I've asked my friend Marta Suchecki if she would come on, and we're going to be talking today about home based businesses. She has one, I have one. And I think that what we're going to be able to share with you today as a practitioner, iridology practitioner, natural health practitioner, health coach, this is going to kind of uh, enlighten you on how we work our business, but maybe how you work your business. This is just going to be a business masterminding class today. And let's just jump into it right now. So thanks, Marta, for joining me.
Thank you
And
for having me again.
you're welcome. Um, you and I both have home businesses, and I think that a lot of times when iridologists become certified, they think, oh, now what's next? Where do I go? What am I going to do? Do I want a home based business? Do I want to try my luck in a health food store, rent a space in a health food store, or maybe get an office somewhere and just jump right into doing, um, health coaching or something like that? Do you see people doing that too?
I think so. It really depends. It depends on their circumstances, I
Mm-hmm.
suppose. And like in my case, this is the best setup for
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind when, of course, I have to do it when no one's home, when kids
Mm-hmm.
are out of the house. Otherwise, there'll be always a knock on the door. I
Mm-hmm.
have my own little room where I can see my clients, but it's best when I can do it when nobody's home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
And
that's
that's good
the
because you don't want that interference or that distraction. It's very
absolutely.
hard when we break that connectivity with our client to have to go answer a phone or answer a door or let a dog out. I mean, I know this from experience because I've got dogs. But I have a home-based business too, and I had to think about that. One of the things I had to think about was I have a private office, but I have to separate my pups because I don't want my clients around a dog. I don't want them to smell a dog. I
Hmm.
don't want a cat walking through.
Yeah,
So you have kids, I have pets. So we've had to section off those rooms to provide us that privacy.
yeah.
But here's a big thing that I think about. How do you feel about having strangers in your home? I know. I know.
Yes, yes. For me, this was just working to begin
Mm-hmm.
because until I'm well established and I can afford to rent a space, um, I wanted to do it here. But the ultimate goal is to have a separate space and have clients in the office. But as of
Mm-hmm.
now, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's right. That's how I've had to look at it. I had a store for 20 years where I had a private office. So I had that office environment, if you will, but the people had to walk through a health food store to get to my office, which was in a wellness center. It was private, it was quiet. We had acupuncture, we had massage therapy, so no loud noises in
Hmm.
the back part of the wellness center. You really couldn't hear what was going on out in the store because it was so private. So I had the benefit of that. Um, there's a lot to factor in
Absolutely.
when people find you either on the internet or they've heard about you from another person um, that they might not know very well. It was just kind of an acquaintance and not a family member or friend or cousin or something. Uh, you're taking a chance when we let strangers into our home, especially if you're there by yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Um,
Um,
Another thing is um, your insurance.
that's right. Insurance is a big deal.
When if you don't have a separate insurance, your homeowners insurance, they don't want to have anything to do with that. If you have
They don't.
a home-based business, they
Hmm.
don't want you. They will
Hmm.
drop you
That's right.
if
That's
they
right.
find out.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's another thing that you want to consider, just getting a separate insurance.
Hmm. And I had one. I had one with the store. I had like a malpractice type insurance. But if
Hmm.
someone walked through my store and slipped,
Hmm.
maybe their heel broke on their shoe, or they slipped in a maybe somebody spilled just a little bit of water and they slipped in it. My insurance for my store would cover that.
Yeah.
The malpractice part that I do is if somebody personally tried to sue me for
Right.
saying
Um,
something that they felt was harmful or
I think
helping them in a way.
the name of the insurance, the type of insurance was the professional liability, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm. Hmm. So that's
Um,
something I think that certified iridologists should consider if they're going to have a home-based business, if they're going to rent, an office.
mhm.
I think a lot of times people look to rent space from like-minded individuals. So, like if it is a natural health clinic, they want to go in and rent their little space for 2 or 3 days a week, pay a percentage of the
Mhm.
clientele that they see, pay it, from each person that they see, work with other like-minded individuals, acupuncturists, massage therapists, foot reflexologists, so forth and so on. And that kind of keeps it all clustered together. I think that's a good approach.
That
That's a
would
good
be
approach.
my ideal setup.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It is an ideal setup. Since I've had it, I know that for sure.
Uh,
I think one of the things I'd like to know is for the people that are watching this, if they would maybe write in a comment section or just reach out to either one of us and tell us kind of what they do and how
mhm.
they go about their approach. I think as a collective community of iridologists, we all kind of want to know, well, what's your secret, or what
Yes.
do you do, or how's that working for you, kind of thing. Makes sense to me.
Yes, absolutely. And brainstorm. Tell me what works out for
Hmm.
you, what
Hmm.
doesn't. And
Hmm.
I think it depends on the area that you live in as well,
Absolutely.
and if it's more remote or
Hmm.
if it's a big city,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. That um, there's a lot to factor in on that. If you are living in the suburbs of a big city, if you live way out in the country in a very urban area where there's not that big city life, it's more of a small country, small town feeling. I tell people a lot of times, especially my students, you charge by your expertise, first of all. If you're just straight out of school and you've not studied much, you've not had a lot of exposure to clients, different health issues, and things like that, you may want to charge a little less. You may want to charge $75 an hour, $80 an hour. But if you've had exposure to health issues and you've studied for a long time and you've had a lot of field work, and by field work, I mean 3 or more years of seeing clients daily, discussing chronic health conditions, working with other professionals, chiropractors, cranial sacral people, things like that. If you're in an office building in Houston, Texas, you could probably charge $250, $300 an hour.
Yeah,
Easy. But you're going to have rent downtown Houston that's probably going to be at least $1,500 a week. So it depends on your level of expertise, what you know, what you don't know, and where you're located. Location, location, location. That's a big deal.
absolutely.
And, we can all help people with what we know. Doesn't matter if you're a beginner or not. You
Yeah,
should be able to hang your shingle and help somebody at the level that you are, some way, somehow. Doesn't matter.
definitely.
but you
I
want to
agree.
charge, accordingly to that. Um, Thoughts on going into, say, an office building? If I was going to look at downtown real estate,
Hmm.
I would want to factor in the drive, parking, noise, accessibility to my office. How close are we to a restroom? Because that's a big deal. I would want to factor in all those things, plus insurance. I mean, you are going to pay insurance, and it could be kind of steep along with your rent. So, where I am right now, the home business fits. And I will tell you that I do a fair amount of teaching, but a fair amount of seeing clients. And I've had to get past that uncomfortability with letting strangers in my home, especially if I'm here by myself.
Yeah.
I've had to get past that. Um, and it's working. It's working for me. So, and you know what? I see people virtually as well, providing that they can provide me with good photos. And I tell my students that's probably one of the best approaches. If you get good quality photos and you can do a virtual Zoom call for an hour, hour and a half, whatever you need, that is
And
a wonderful way.
it shouldn't be that hard to take a good photo
No,
these days.
shouldn't. No, the phones allow it.
Yeah.
There's plenty of videos out on YouTube right now. I have one out there. I know that several other uh, uh, certified iridologists within the IPA organization have videos out there too that would give you good instruction on how to take a picture with the camera by yourself or with the help of another person. So that shouldn't be. So are you doing virtual sessions with
Not
people?
yet, not yet,
Not yet. Okay. Okay.
but it is on my to-do list, and I
Okay.
am just at the moment I'm trying to break that barrier that I have
Mhm.
to show myself.
Put yourself
And
out there.
exactly. Uh, when you are in the office setting, you have a bigger chance of interacting with different people, them seeing what you're doing, and what people have no idea what iridology is.
That's right.
They think, oh, radiology, and like, no.
Not radio. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but when you're on your own in your office, you don't. It's just a word of mouth, or unless you have
Mhm.
a social media account and all. Uh, but yes, that's something I think I will do. It's just a process of me breaking that fear and that
Putting
barrier.
yourself out there. And I see that. I see that with other students. I've heard other iridologists that have been certified for, about a year or 2 years, and they say, I don't feel that comfortable just
Hmm.
advertising myself or putting myself out there. And I didn't either. I didn't either. I felt funny about it. I felt like I'd be scrutinized or I would be, I mean, we all have that feeling of rejection.
Absolutely, especially that I did go on like Instagram and I typed in the um to look for this type of videos, and I see there are plenty, and I'm like, I don't want to be this like them.
Right.
I'm myself. I'm certified audiologist. I'm not someone who goes Googling stuff.
Yeah.
And so I want to figure out the way how I can stand out
Mm-hmm.
and be different and get my audience that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I think helped me a long time ago, but you have to understand, I've been doing this for 30 years. Um, but you know what? When we did not have the internet, we did not have all the computers, when we did not have the Instagram and the Facebook and the YouTube, we had to put ourselves out there some way or another. And I got started by seeing my mother's clients. Now, she was a massage therapist. And so she would call me and she would say, could you come over on Saturdays, take pictures of my clients' eyes, and come back the next Saturday because we had to process our film. We don't have the
Right.
digital cameras. We didn't even have, we
Right.
had Polaroid or we had a 35 millimeter. And she would say, could you process the pictures and then come back the next week and do the reading? Okay, I'll do it. I think back then I was charging $40 to do that, piece of cake. Everybody had $40 they could spend on wanting to know something about their health related to their eyes. So I got started that way. And then I stepped out and I started doing these little natural health fairs. So these little communities, little cities would have a massage therapist come in
Mm-hmm.
and talk about massage therapy. They'd have somebody come in and talk about doing foot detox baths. They would talk about essential oils. There'd be somebody representing Young Living or somebody representing doTERRA. And they would set up their little tables and people could come
Yes.
by and sniff the oils and smell the diffusers and all this stuff. And so I had a little table at the end of a longer table, and I set up, my camera, and I would take pictures of eyes, and I would just handwrite what I saw going on in the
Yeah.
eye, of course. And I would make suggestions, and I'd say, if this were me, I would be taking some digestive enzymes because that's going to help this and blah, 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 blah. And I would do little 30-minute sessions and charge, $20. I was
Absolutely.
busy all day.
I have a hard time finding uh places like that.
Mhm.
There's a fair, there's like a little symposium, or there's a little, and I'm in Las Vegas. This is the place where this happens.
Tons of people.
And sometimes I'll be somewhere and this coming weekend, like, I'm out of town this weekend. I didn't know. And
Yeah.
so I have a hard time finding where to get that information so
Mm-hmm.
I can plan
Mm-hmm.
ahead or get involved, not just
Mm-hmm.
be to go there and browse, but to be present and take part in it. So I don't know where to find that, quite honestly.
Just, um, you know, I think as health practitioners, what we have to do is meet other people. We've got to put ourselves out there to meet chiropractors. So that means we might ought to have one that we know that we go see. Maybe a massage therapy, a therapist that we use, a colon hydrotherapist, or somebody that does something, even at the health food store. I know that we used to put flyers out for these little health fairs, or we would have them ourselves and invite people to come in, and we would serve snacks, healthy snacks, of course, and we would have an herbal hour, and we would talk about 2 or 3 herbs for over the course of an hour. We did that
Mhm.
with essential oils, where we took oils and we would say, here's a bottle of frankincense. This is what frankincense helps with, blah, 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 blah. Pass it around, let everybody smell it. And then we'd take another oil, do the same thing. Spend an hour a week networking, meeting these people.
Do a virtual health fair.
She said, do a virtual health fair. I just got an idea from the other one that
Perfect.
passed through. Do a virtual health conference. Thank you for that. That was a good idea. Well, that's giving me some good ideas. That was the whole purpose of this recording, is to help people with ideas, kind of mastermind through some of this. What can we do to make people aware of what iridology is in the first place? Now, that's one of the reasons I started my YouTube page with Iridology Around the World, where we interview iridologists, much like we're doing today. Today's a big business segment. And then I've expanded that into Iridology Fusion Quickies, where I'm teaching little bits and snippets, other iridologists, what to look for. That's not
I love those.
generally.
I absolutely love those.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. It's not for the Joe Q public. because they don't know what I'm talking about. When I talk about a lacuna
Right.
or I talk about a sclera vessel that is a wobbly fork or whatever, they don't know
Yeah.
what that. Joe Q public does not know, and they do not care. They want to know what it means when you see it in their eye.
Yes.
That's what they
And
want to know.
that's what I was thinking to do. Those little quickies, but obviously they're not going to be called uh that because I don't want to copy you.
You can call them shorts.
Shorts, absolutely. Uh, and for regular people who have no
Mhm,
idea what a lacuna is or
mhm,
nutritive zone, is like,
mhm.
where's
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
So just to explain it simply, quickly to spark their interest.
Mhm,
It's like, wow, this is interesting. I'm
mhm.
intrigued. Let me send her a message like, hey, maybe I can get a reading. So that's the goal.
Well, now that's a good segue into the next question that I want to ask. As iridologists, who are our target audiences?
Mostly anybody, not anybody, but everybody who wants to listen, who wants to learn
Mhm,
that it's not just because we are so stuck in that allopathic way of thinking.
mhm,
Oh, something hurts, it's pop, Tylenol, ibuprofen, whatever. And if a person has open mind to learn that we can actually, funny thing that people say, oh, you have a crystal ball. I'm like, well,
yeah.
kind
No.
of. No, but kind of in a way where we can give you heads up on what's going on. And so if you people who are open, it doesn't matter whether they're 18 or 29 or 55 or 74. Anybody who is open-minded and would like to see a different perspective, that'll be my target.
Mhm, mhm. I have a lot of clients that come to me and they'll say, I've gone that route with the doctor. They went that allopathic place. They've had surgeries, they've had the medications, they've had the symptoms that caused them to be on other medications. So we're treating symptoms now. And they get it after a while. After about the third bottle of pills, they get, I've had to get another bottle of pills to treat the symptoms that I had from the first thing I had. I didn't
Right.
get to the root cause. So people come to me and they'll say, I'm tired. I'm tired of that route. I need to know how to feed myself properly. I need to know what supplements, if I do need any, should I take? Because when I talk to supplements about or talk to my primary care about supplements, they say, oh, that's not regulated by the FDA. You shouldn't put that in there in your
Hmm.
body. You don't need supplements. Your body will manufacture all the vitamins and minerals that you need from your food. If you're eating at McDonald's, you're not getting vitamins and minerals, you
Yeah.
know? If you're eating a well balanced diet, so you have your protein, you have your veg, you have a little bit of carb, are you really breaking that down and absorbing that where you're actually getting nutrients in? You're only as good as what you absorb.
Absolutely.
And if you're busy absorbing junk, that's what's going to happen. It's going to stay with you.
Yeah.
If you're absorbing and breaking down good nutrients and feeding your body, and that's getting into your bloodstream, you're going to be a little bit healthier than someone that's not doing that. But then again, I believe under the heading of stuff happens, we need to look in our eyes for genetic purposes to see what we can prevent.
Absolutely. And we are looking for root cause,
Mhm,
not just the symptom
mhm,
that arises, but where it really originates.
mhm, mhm,
And a lot of times when we go to a regular doctor, we say, oh, just slap a band-aid on it, just take this, you'll be fine.
mhm,
Maybe for a little bit.
mhm.
but where is it coming from? Why do I have this problem, right?
Mhm. Mhm. And it might not be something that the allopathic doctor knows unless
Correct.
they want to spend the time with you to trace it or track it down.
Yeah.
And that is a test, and that involves a test, and that test needs a test to prove that test.
Yeah.
And we get into a place where once we get going, it's like we're going every week for another test, till they
Yeah.
find out where we need to be. And I'm not faulting them. That's their
No,
pattern.
absolutely.
That's what they learn to do. But I try to explain to my client that the eyes are the DNA of your mother, your father, your grandparents behind them that can show us the systems to strengthen, to rebuild, to support,
That's
and
right.
if we do this with food, like Hippocrates told us to do a long, long time ago, if we do this with the food, that's going to make a difference. Now, if we have to go a little bit deeper, I'm not
Deeper.
beyond
And
recommending a doctor for blood tests or things like that.
even let's turn it around. People will look at their parents, grandparents, like, oh, my parents, they have cancers or they have diabetes. I'll have diabetes.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to have diabetes.
You don't
You
have
may
to.
have you may have predisposition,
Mm-hmm.
but it's up to you
Mm-hmm.
if you
Mm-hmm.
follow that pattern.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to. You
Mm-hmm.
can completely turn it around. You can turn off those genetics and don't worry about it. Some
Mm-hmm.
people have to work harder than the
Mm-hmm.
others,
Mm-hmm. That's true.
but it's all doable. It's
Mm-hmm.
all doable.
I remember one time in my health food store, I had a older man come in. He's 60-ish, maybe a little bit older than 60-ish. And he suffered years with gout. Oh man, he was always complaining. I went to the doctor. They didn't do anything. They gave me a pill. It didn't help. So I said, talk to me about your diet. Tell me what you eat. And he said, well, I love steak. I just love steak. I love red meat. I'm a meat and potatoes guy. And I said, do you like alcohol? Oh yeah, I'm not going to give up my beer. And so I said, okay, are you going to give up the red meat? Probably not. I'm a meat and potatoes guy. I'm a Texan. So I said, well, I've got a bottle of, something that could help you. And it had some tart black cherry in it. It had some other factors in it. It was a combination herbal supplement.
Yeah.
And I said, chances are it may help a bit. I don't know. I know that if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. But maybe, just maybe, it will take the edge off that pain, or it might start to correct that. So he bought one bottle, and in 3 days, he saw a difference. He told his wife, he said, go back down there and buy every one of them that they have on the shelf. And I knew
Don't you
when
love
she,
that?
yeah, I did.
That?
I was like, oh, come on in, lady. And I knew when she came in and she said, I'm going to buy every bottle of this. I said, oh, your husband came in 3 days ago, didn't he? And she, yes, yes. Do you know that I got to ordering that stuff a case at a time? He bought a case once a month because he was not going to change the way he ate.
Yeah. Imagine what could have happened if he actually did.
Gout would have just left him. I said, do you ever put chicken in this pie hole? I mean, do you ever put chicken?
Yeah.
Rarely. I like fried chicken. I mean, that sounds like a typical Texan: fried chicken and steak and mashed potatoes. That's a typical diet here in Texas. And then you chug it down with a couple of beers.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we can't make a dent in helping somebody see where they need to change, and if they do take a supplement and it makes an impression on them, or it if it just alleviates a little bit of pain, my gosh, we've done a world of good at that point.
Yes, and I feel like if they can get some relief or see a little change, then they will be more open to like, okay, maybe there's something about it. Maybe I could eat
Mm-hmm.
a steak a week, not
Mm-hmm.
three or four,
Mm-hmm.
right? Make some adjustments. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like that.
I know that before I bought a health food store, I went to work in a health food store just doing iridology. And I walked in and I said to them, I said, I'm an iridologist. And they knew what iridology was, thank God. And I said, I would like to meet your clients in the store, your the people that come in, and even the people that work here. I would love to do their eyes. I'll give you a percentage of what I do if you can afford me 2 chairs, a table, and a partition. I said, because I want it to be private. It doesn't need to be out in the open for everybody to listen to. And I said, I will provide business cards. I'll provide flyers for myself, and I will help you sell products off your store shelf. That's exactly what someone that has a health food store wants to hear because their inventory is sitting there on the shelves.
Yeah.
They want to know that they can move that inventory, and they don't want to just sell sacks full at a time that are unnecessary that people are going to bring back and say, oh, this didn't work. You sold me a bunch of junk. They don't want that. They want someone that knows that person really needs digestive enzymes or that person really needs slippery elm.
Yeah.
Okay. So I made a deal with the first health food store that I went to, and they were like, absolutely. Absolutely. How often can you come in? I said, I can come in twice a week. Bring my camera. You don't pay me a nickel. I make my own money. I pay you 10% of what I'm making just for a little 4x4 setting. And they were like, okay. I helped them sell more products off that store shelf than the actual people that work there.
Yeah.
Because the eye showed me.
I tried that with one health store around my town, and it was great at first. And then the owner sold their business, and I can get in touch with the new owner.
Yeah, that's sad.
And that's okay.
And
that's okay. Maybe that was just that portion where I needed to get familiar. Okay, this is great. Now move on to something new. So it's all good.
It could have been the way that it could have been the universe's way of saying, you know what, Marta, you're bigger and better than this health food store. I'm going to find you something else and push you in that direction.
That's right.
And you know what? That's how it works. That's how it works. This has been really, really good. I think we're getting somewhere. I do hope that this helps iridologists kind of understand. You and I have been in the business quite a while. I've been in it, 3 decades now.
Comparing to you, I just walked in.
No, you didn't. You've been what, 5 years into it, maybe, or longer?
I don't know.
You haven't?
3 years. 3 years. That's it.
Well, it feels like 5 in a good way. In a good way. But you know what? From where you are and to where I am right now, this collaboration is good to talk about because you know what? I'm an old dog, but I can still learn some new tricks. And you're a youngster kind of coming up in the ranks. And I mean, even though you're about 2 decades younger than me, I think, you are still of that mindset of go and grow and, hey, let's try this and let's try that. I'm kind of slowing down, but I still want to learn. It's not that I'm shutting a door by any means. But one of the big things I'd like to address this, we can come back and talk about this at a later time on another video, is about Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, social media. I'd like to know how that's working for everyone out there. I mean, if somebody, again, come
Right?
post on this and let us know how it's working for you. But
Yeah.
what do you think about that?
Well, I think this is the way to go. But I have a barrier. I'm not on my phone all day.
I know.
I'll have an idea like, oh, that would be fun to, make a video like that. But looking at myself, I've done couple, and then I'm looking at myself and I'm like, oh my
I know. I know.
God. So it's a process. And there are people who are like, oh, I don't care, I'll just put it out there. It is what it
Yeah.
is. I have to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm making really tiny steps, but I'm moving forward about
Yeah.
that. And I think because it's so accessible, you don't have to go
Mhm.
anywhere, you don't have to drive anywhere. People could be sitting at their couch and they're scrolling and oh look, oh wow, this is great. Like, oh, I'm intrigued.
Mhm.
Let me find out more.
Mhm.
And so, and people are lazy.
That's true.
They don't want to go places.
That's true.
And they just want to have it done like that. And so I think social media it's a double-edged sword. It's so great, but we all know the downside of it. But let's take advantage of
We should. We should. I've got young nieces and nephews. Well, they're in their 20s and 30s.
it.
They're young to me. My one of my nieces, she's about 24ish, I guess. She said to me, she said, Aunt Kathy, TikTok's where it's at. And so I started looking at some of the stuff that she would send me TikTok, and it doesn't last very long. It's kind of short lived, and I was like, I don't know. And I looked at some things that had iridology on them, and it showed just quick little snippets of maybe the eye coming in and out or changing color, and the kids were. It's like kids were messing with the eyes. And I
Mhm.
said to her, I said, it doesn't seem that these people are taking this very serious. And she said,
Serious,
well, that's
yes.
why you should do it.
Yeah.
You should get on there, say something very short and sweet about eyes, because this is TikTok is an area that is going to touch a lot of young people and people into their 40s.
Yes.
And I still was very apprehensive to do that because I could not see a lot of seriousness in TikTok. Now,
And
I saw a lot of seriousness in some Facebook,
yeah.
Posts, and that's what I do. And you know what? People don't have a clue that I have a website. Here's the website. That's my website, Universal Iridology Academy. No one knows I had that. You know why? Because I don't talk about it unless I'm selling a book or selling a class. I never
Yes.
mention my website, but it's been easier for me to do a Facebook Live or something recorded like my iridology quickies that I can post on Facebook under Iridology Fusion, or I have a private group, Behaviors, Iridology, and Oils, and I talk about oils and iridology there, but I select who I let into that.
Yes.
The other is for the whole public. But I'm trying to come across as being very serious
Mm-hmm.
because I take what I do very serious. And Instagram, I've even slacked off of Instagram because I see some seriousness on there. We've got a lot of IPA certified iridologists that use Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
very successful with it, and they are very, very serious about it. And I see some seriousness about it. Again, I ask us, you and I, who is our target audience? Who are those people? Are they 18 to 30? Are they 30 to 60? Are they 40 to 80? They could be all those ages.
Yes. what I'm thinking also is that the older generation, they think a little different, where yes, you can take supplements for different problems and not necessarily go to the doctor, right? It seems like our younger generation is going to have more trouble because they're that much sicker. Not necessarily with disease, but yet, but because of the lifestyle, because of and the simple things like drinking water. Nobody drinks water.
I know. They have
And
to have it
so
flavored.
and it makes me think that that group of people might be more open because it's a simple information and they don't know it.
That's right.
And older generations like, yes, you need to eat your vegetables, eat your rainbow, right? And they are like, what? I can't just eat a protein bar?
Right. Right.
And it's like teaching the basics.
That's right.
And that would be it's simple, and it's also could be enlightening for younger folks, and who knows, maybe we can
Get
help
you.
them.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to talk about this further. I know that we've gone what almost over 30 minutes. Some people they don't have an attention span, usually past 15. I really hope that the people that watch this though get something from this, at least a spark.
Yeah.
At least that's my intention, is that they get some kind of spark and they step out there and make a recording, try virtual sessions with clients, advertise yourself, either Google, whatever you have to do. I want to talk more about this internet pathway for advertisement and,
Mm-hmm.
and projecting ourselves out there at a later date. We'll do this again real soon, but I think you and I have touched on some very good topics. I think we've given some pretty good ideas to some newbies or to some people that
I would like to
are not
know
ready.
what people put out there uh to stand out, to
Yes.
like, yeah, I'm serious about this. This
Yeah.
is what I know, and it's not a joke. This is
Right.
not for fun. This is real learning experience.
Mhm.
And so I would like to know how they are making themselves stand out from, the others.
Yes. Yes. Let's do that. Let's do another one of these interviews in a couple of weeks. Let's go into part 2 and we'll take this deeper. I hope people will start discussing this and talking about this. I think it would be very beneficial if they would type in on this YouTube comments, suggestions. Maybe we could do a private class. That'd be fun. Just to get some ideas and share with the iridology community or the natural health community or the health coaching community ways of meeting new clients, supporting each other, continuous share with each other, just that good networking, just that good support. So I think we'll do this again, but I think you and I have touched on some good things today that could be very helpful.
I agree.
Okay. Well, with that, I think what we should do is just go ahead and close, and we'll pick this up at a later date. So thank you,
Sounds
everyone,
great.
for giving us a welcome ear, and we appreciate it. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Mhm.